Setagaya was the kind of place where people didn't lock their doors, a quiet residential district tucked inside Tokyo's sprawling city limits. It was a neighborhood of neat houses, trimmed hedges, and narrow streets where kids rode bicycles and families waved to each other over fences. The air smelled like garden flowers. It wasn't far from the urban center, but it felt like its own world, slow, peaceful, and tucked safely away from the chaos of city life. People walked their dogs through the nearby park, children played until dusk, neighbors knew each other by name. It wasn't the kind of place you thought about crime, certainly not murder, and that's what made what happened inside the Miyazawa home so jarring. The Miyazawa family consisted of Mikio Miyazawa, age 44, a kind father and dedicated worker for a foreign publishing company. His wife, Yasuko, age 41, was a gentle, quiet woman who taught part-time at a nearby educational center. Their daughter, Niana, age 8, was vibrant and outgoing, and their son, Rei, just 6, was shy and loved trains. They were a family that lived simply, with love and routine shaping their days. The horror of that night wasn't just in the brutality, it was in the stillness that followed. For hours, the killer lived among the dead. He touched their things, sat at their computer, ate from their fridge. He even used Mikio's own toiletries to tend to his wounds. The sheer confidence, or carelessness, was something investigators struggled to understand. At the scene, police found blood spatters on the walls, signs of a violent struggle, and drag marks where the killer had moved bodies. The bathroom was smeared with blood, some of it the killer's. Investigators believe he injured his hand during the attack. They found his blood type, type A, and analyzed it extensively, but it matched no criminal database in Japan. One of the strangest details was that the killer took a nap, or at least that's what investigators believe. He removed his jacket, folded it, and used it as a pillow. He left his shirt and scarf behind. Why would someone do this after such an act? Some believe he was mentally disturbed. Others think he was so confident he would not be caught, possibly because he had protection. And the computer activity was just as chilling. A strange login occurred around 1:18 a.m., suggesting the killer was still there at that time. There was no internet browsing or file access, just the computer being powered on and left idle. Some theorize he may have accidentally triggered it or was curious. Others believe he used it to send a coded signal or check for information. Was it a professional hit staged to look messy? Some argued that, but the evidence contradicted that idea. The killer left his own wallet, sand, and clothing. The blood trail showed sloppiness. A professional wouldn't linger for hours. Theories spread fast. Mikio Miyazawa had reportedly complained to local authorities about the noise and behavior of skaters in the adjacent park. Some speculate this angered someone, possibly a teenager or young adult, who returned to retaliate. Yet nothing ever surfaced to prove it. Another theory is that the killer was homeless, maybe using the park as shelter. That could explain the familiarity with the layout. But again, why target this family? Some speculate that the killer may have mistaken the Miyazawa home for someone else's, or was under the influence of drugs or psychosis. More haunting are the survivor stories. Yasuko's mother, who discovered the bodies, never recovered emotionally. She lived for years with the trauma of knowing her daughter, grandchildren, and son-in-law were all taken just feet from her home. Neighbors were terrified. Some moved away. The house, untouched for nearly 2 decades, became a quiet monument to fear. School children would walk past it, whispering about the killer who might still be close. In 2019, the city of Setagaya finally demolished the house, but not without controversy. Many believed tearing it down would erase important evidence. Others said it was time. The building had become a source of pain. Even after demolition, the case stayed alive in Japanese consciousness. Documentaries were made, books were written, podcasts covered it. Some internet sleuths created entire timelines, building detailed maps and compiling all the known facts, from DNA analysis to weather conditions that night. In 2021, on the 21st anniversary of the crime, Tokyo police renewed their public appeal, again releasing composite sketches and details from the scene. Still, nothing. The killer had left a brand new sashimi knife behind, purchased shortly before the murder. He wore cologne, possibly Drakkar Noir. He left receipts in his wallet. Even the type of paper used in the bag he carried was traced to a South Korean manufacturer. It was almost as if investigators had everything except a name. And then there's the symbolism. Some crime theorists in Japan note the eerie similarities to kabuki theater or no plays. The killer acting out a strange performance of murder, followed by stillness, consumption, and rest. Others have pointed out the possible symbolism of the unused toys in the children's rooms, the juxtaposition of innocence and destruction. Was he making a statement, or was it just random? Despite decades of effort, the Setagaya family murders remain unsolved, not because of lack of clues, but in spite of them. Japan has one of the lowest homicide rates in the world. In fact, the murder rate in Japan is around 0.2 per 100,000 people, compared to over 6 per 100,000 in the United States. Violent crimes, especially those involving entire families, are extraordinarily rare. It is considered one of the most over-documented unsolved crimes in modern history. To this day, Tokyo police continue to receive tips, some sincere, others bizarre. They've issued thousands of flyers, knocked on hundreds of doors, and tested countless DNA samples. The killer, if alive, would likely be middle-aged by now, perhaps late 40s to early 50s. He could be living in another country, he could be hiding in plain sight, or perhaps he's dead, and the truth, like the house on Kamisoshigaya Street, has been quietly buried. After the investigation team released the home back to the family, quiet preparations were made for the burial. According to local reports, the family chose a discreet cemetery in Tokyo where the Miyazawas could be laid to rest together without drawing public attention. The specific location has not been disclosed out of respect and for privacy, but it is believed to be a small private site frequented only by family and close friends. Mikio, Yasuko, Mina, and Rei Miyazawa were laid to rest together in a private ceremony held at a cemetery in Tokyo. Flowers, paper cranes, handwritten notes have occasionally appeared near memorials, left by strangers who never knew the Miyazawas but felt the weight of their story. Traditional Japanese burial practices are usually handled with great cultural sensitivity. While cremation is most common, families often hold a wake, tuya, followed by a funeral, soshiki. Afterward, the ashes are typically interred in a family grave at a local temple or cemetery. The Miyazawa's funeral was reportedly kept private, but in accordance with custom, it likely included Buddhist rites, offerings, and the presence of extended family. Grave markers are maintained by descendants, with periodic visits for prayers and incense, especially during Obon season when the spirits of the dead are said to return. Thanks for watching till the end. See you next time on Fallen Files.